And so, transitioning a bit, I would like to present His Holiness with a hypothetical scenario. So, let's imagine that there is a mother who has a child. She's a single mother, and she needs to nourish, love this child, take care of it, and raise it and implement the proper morals, principles, and values into this child so that it could become a functional human being of society, also a person who loves Christ. But because she's single, she has to now work, she has to pay the bills and put the food on the table. Now, if we focus on a nuclear family with a father and a dad, or a father and a mother, rather, now the father has the responsibility of going out and becoming the breadwinner, putting the food on the table, and that now frees up all of the mother's time to go and nourish the child, raise it properly as we are accustomed to. And thus, that child will have a better chance of feeling the love, learning the principles and values, and having a constant teacher in person there taking care of them. With all that into consideration into mind, I personally feel that it is not the responsibility of the Assyrian Church to teach the language, to interfere in political issues that don't resolve or involve the church. I feel that the church should constantly be focusing on what it was created to do, which is preach the teachings of Jesus Christ as best as possible and keeping its members strong and growing. Hypothetically speaking, the church, the Assyrian people are facing a problem today. We are a single mother because we don't have a country. We are focusing on nourishing these people while also trying to put food on the table and keeping the lights on. With that in mind, does Your Holiness believe that eventually the Assyrians need to establish organizations, official organizations, new political parties, so that they can focus on things that do not pertain to the church that the church is currently responsible for? And so the church and yourself and every clergy member beneath can focus on the proper things to keep the Assyrian faith in the church growing and focusing on Jesus Christ.
So, in a number of centuries ago, when our people were still living in the Middle East, and particularly in Hakkari and the neighboring regions, there was in place what was known as the millet system. This was especially during the Ottoman times. And what that meant was that the patriarch, as the head of the church, this was true for all other nationalities as well, was also considered the national leader. Now, what you outlined obviously is something that is very ideal, and I would not disagree with you. The only issue is that are we as a people, have we reached that level of maturity yet? And that's the issue. That's why the church oftentimes has to, and by has to I mean we have a moral responsibility to speak out, to interfere, to take a stand on issues where people would think that it's very political, but it also has to do with the life of our faithful. The Middle East is replete with circumstances like that, and that's something that I've been dealing with, and every other church leader has been dealing with because it's part of the nature of what it means to be an ethnic church, especially in the Middle East. So the head of the church, ipso facto, has to be dealing with political issues.
Right.
Now, does that mean that the church will dictate politics? No. And obviously, there needs to be quite a bit of prudence in order to know where, when, and how to interfere, or to intervene, rather. But as a people, we haven't reached that level yet where we have an elected Congress or an elected parliament that can speak on behalf of the nation as a whole. I hope we can reach that goal. I don't know if we'll see it in our lifetime, but it is an ideal for a nation to reach maturity, to have our own country one day, just as every other nation has a land that they can call their own.